What if I told you there were only 5 important factors that you could master that would absolutely skyrocket your real estate sales business? Well, that is in fact exactly what we're going to talk about here in this video today. This video is going to be for those of you who are on the sales ascent journey right now. Of course, I talk a lot about selling to building to leading. Today, we're talking about sales. Today, we're talking about building a sustainable and predictable real estate sales business so that you can earn what you're worth. You can create predictability and sustainability so that every single year, you know that your business has the capacity to grow. One of the hardest things about being a real estate sales professional, being an entrepreneur, in particular when you're in the selling phase, is where's my next deal coming from, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges that people face until they create the consistent, structured, and disciplined elements of a productive real estate sales business. So today we're going to talk about it. And I want to make sure that I keep it simple for you because simple scales, complex will fail. And I know that some of us, we overcomplicate things. And that's okay. We're human beings. And sometimes along the journey, we feel like, hey, there's so much that I have to do, right? There's this marketing and this target I could go after and this seller and this transaction. We got all these things circling. And today I'm going to break it down for you for only the 5 that are going to make all the difference for you when you master them. Okay, let's go. Number 1 is your mindset. That's right. It's your mindset. Now let's talk about the mindset of a sales professional so that you don't have to overthink this. So what is a great mindset? Well, your mindset is the set of beliefs and thoughts that drive your emotions that fulfill upon your actions to create the results. So it's the set of beliefs and thoughts that drive your actions and your results, right? And so it's your mental frame, it's your filter through which things come in and go out. There's a great book called Mindset. Maybe you've read it by Carol Dweck. She talks about the distinction between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Now, it makes sense, right? A fixed mindset is this is how it is. This is how it will always be. I'm unwilling to challenge any of my beliefs. I'm unwilling to challenge any of the way I think. And so therefore, this is how it is and how it will always be. A growth mindset, on the other hand, is, well, there's so much I don't yet know. And so I'm going to go into the realm of possibility. I'm going to go into the realm of exploration and examination. I'm going to use setbacks as opportunities for growth, as opportunities for expansion. Fixed mindset says, oh, something difficult, something challenging, that must mean that I can't progress. That must mean I can't evolve. And of course, that's not you because you're an aspirational entrepreneur driving through the real estate sales business. Entrepreneurship is really a self-development program wrapped in a financial opportunity, and it starts in your mindset. So why is it important to have a growth mindset? Well, for obvious reasons, as setbacks occurred, you want to press forward. You take on the lens of, hey, this happened and it means that something good can come from it. I can learn from it. I can work with it. And that's going to help you propel. Now, how do you develop a growth or strong or leader or salesperson mindset, effective salesperson mindset? Well, first of all, you got to surround yourself with the right kind of people. Who you put yourself around, your environment is going to rub off on you. I know that you know this, right? You got to make sure you're in the right environment and you got to feed your mind with the right inputs because, garbage in equals garbage out. Well, if you're putting in the good stuff comes out, right? If you're putting in an empowering belief system, if you're putting in thoughts of I can versus I can't, then of course that's what's going to happen for you. And so feed your mind with a diet of positivity and optimism and possibility, and you're going to go a lot further with the right mindset. And then, of course, you are responsible for developing that mindset. Nobody can do it for you. And then, of course, hopefully you're putting the right people around you. Okay, number 2, mindset's 1. Number 2 is your schedule. Now, I have shot many videos on the concept of structure and discipline and consistency and focusing on the right things at the right times over time, right? Time on task over time is what will get you the results. And your schedule allows you to stay focused, narrow, right? Like a laser beam cutting through steel on the right stuff at the right time over time. Okay. So let's talk about what a properly structured schedule is. It's looking at what I believe is the rhythm of your day and your week. And I live life on a 1 week at a time basis. Monday to Sunday is how I would encourage you to structure your time. Now, bear in mind, I've been coaching real estate agents for nearly 2 decades. I've been coaching brokers and owners and leaders of service-based sales organizations for a very long time. And schedule is where your success either lives or dies, right? If I went to your calendar right now, would I see your success planned in advance? Because that's how it happens. If you're showing up today to your day with randomness, right? No direction, well, then you're unlikely to get the results you're looking for. Again, this is not a complex idea. It's a simple idea, but simple scales, but we've got to execute effectively. And so one of the key ways to make sure that your schedule is going to lead you to the right path is you got to remove everything from the schedule that is not the thing, right? That's called distractions. Remove them as fast as possible because your distractions are going to take you to where your goals and your dreams die, literally, right? It's a cemetery of unmet goals, unmet dreams called distraction and procrastination. No bueno. So how to develop a great schedule is start to look at it as the lifeblood of your business. The 24 hours that you have is when your goals and dreams happen. So break it down into segments. Obviously, we've got a sleep segment. Hopefully, you're getting 7, 8 hours a night at a minimum. Then we got 16 hours remaining. Let's break that into four-hour segments. You've got your pre-production segment in the morning. Wake up early, have a productive morning routine, energize your body and your mind and your spirit, right? Spend time on your important relationships so that when segment 2 begins, which is when your workday begins, you've got defined hours of operation, you're ready to go and you're in your production right away, right? That is segment 2. That is called morning production. And you're focused on the most important activities. We'll talk about those in a minute. You're focused on the most important activities right at the beginning of your day because that's going to start propelling you forward to get the thing you really want, which is real estate sales closings. Okay. That's a lag effect of the work we're going to talk about doing here in the next 3 things, but it lives inside your schedule. Segment 3 is going to be the work you do in the afternoon. That's typically for a real estate sales agent out of the office work, right? Appointments, showings, etc., networking, etc. That may extend into the evening. And then you've got your segment 4, which is your evening wind down, right? You close yourself down, you close your business down, you go back to spending some time with the people you love, you go back to spending some time with yourself so that you got a good evening wind down. Get to bed early enough so that you can start your day right. The day starts the night before. So get to bed early enough so you can start your day the right way and then get up and do it again, right? And so what we've done now is we've established a daily rhythm that lives inside of a weekly rhythm, and Monday to Sunday should be very predictable for you. That's the key. I'm talking about a predictable and sustainable business for you every week, every month, every quarter, every single year. Okay. Number 3 is lead generation. You and I both know that if you don't have enough leads, you can't generate qualified prospects. If you don't have qualified prospects, you can't get to customers. And if you don't have customers, you can't get to closings and repeat and referral business. And so the number one activity after having the right mindset and having a clearly defined schedule that predicts your success in advance is lead generation. Okay. So, we obviously know why lead generation is important. You know, what lead generation is every single day, you doing the voice to voice and the face to face activities that bubble up consumers of your service. We don't sell houses, ladies and gentlemen. What we do is we help people move through life. And so your job is not to convince or persuade people to buy houses. Your job is to find human beings that are going to go through life event situations. That is when people move. They go through life event situations. I won't go through all of what those are. You know what they are, right? Your highest leverage life event situations are both positive and negative, right? The more challenging ones, divorce, death. The others are, growing family or relocation, or I'm an empty nester, right? I gave you a few. New job. There are several key elements when people decide to move, but your job is to position yourself so that when it's time for them to make that decision, they choose you. Okay. So lead generation is all about the voice to voice and face to face activities that start to bubble up prospects for you so that you can then move to the next stage, number 4 of lead follow up. And this is where all your money is made. Okay, let's assume you got a great mindset. Let's assume that you've scheduled your success in advance with a schedule that removes distractions and procrastinations and prioritizes the most important work. And you have made a commitment to lead generation every single day or the required number of days inside of your week so that you can bubble up the appropriate number of prospects for your pipeline. Well, then you've got to follow up, and that's where your money is made. Because you and I both know the agents that will talk to some people, but then it goes by the wayside. You'll meet some people out, and then it goes by the wayside because you have no system. You have no method for your follow-up. And I heard this said before, all the money lives in your tech enable, meaning that you're using a CRM, you're scheduling on your calendar, you're using a pipeline tool that is electronic and digital, scheduled, systematic, and relentless follow-up. Tech-enabled, scheduled, systematic, and relentless follow-up. You got a system for it. Okay, people that are in my next 1 to 4 months, that's a now customer. I follow up with them every single week. We're right in the game right now. People that are my soon customers, 5 to 8 months, I follow up with them every 2 weeks. I've set the search for them, or I've got them on a drip to let them know what houses are worth in their neighborhood, any transactions that are happening. If they're a hold for the future, 9+ months, I follow up every month, right? Until you have a system that is on your schedule where the technology tells you what to do, and then you are absolutely relentless about it. You never stop, you never quit until they become a customer. And then finally, number 5 is lead conversion. And lead conversion is where all of the skill comes together because ultimately we only earn paychecks when we have signed listing agreements and signed buyer broker agreements that lead to signed contracts. Period. Signed listing agreements, signed buyer broker agreements that lead to signed contracts. Some of us get bogged down in, well, I need to know how to administer the contract. I need to know how to do the inspection. I need to know about the financing contingencies. And those are important technical skills. I absolutely agree. And the more technically skilled you are in those areas, the more likely you are to be able to effectively get to closings. But if you don't do the other 5 things, you don't need to know any of that stuff, right? And people get bogged down on the wrong stuff. No, you don't need to be an expert in the contract until you have a consumer who actually wants to sign a listing agreement or a buyer broker agreement. I'm not saying you should wait until then to start learning about that stuff, but it is not the most important thing. The skill of conversion is your ability to sit down with that consumer, right? After you've bubbled up that lead into a prospect and you've qualified them, right? A lead is a suspect, where a qualified prospect is someone who actually has a sincere intention that fits within the parameters of what a customer looks like for you, right? They have the financing capability or the financial capability. They have a strong enough motivation. Their buy when is clear. They're not working with any other agents. Now you got a real prospect. Unless and until they've signed a buyer broker agreement or a listing agreement, you're essentially unemployed. So that's why you got to follow up with them long enough to get them into the conversion of signing an agreement with you. Once you've done that, then it's game on. Then it's time for you to really perform at your highest level as a technician, right? Understanding the market, being able to show property effectively, or listing the property and marketing it in a way that attracts buyers to that seller's home. Then you've got to be able to navigate the offer process, and you've got to be able to navigate the contract process to get to the closing. All important skills, but they come as a secondary skill set to the primary 5 key levers that are going to move you forward to a sustainable and predictable real estate sales business. Again, number 1 is your mindset. You're a hunter. Every single day, you've got to hunt. You've got to find that prospect, and you've got to maintain a mindset of I can, I will, I must. Okay. Number 2 is a schedule that predicts your success in advance. Remove distractions, remove procrastination. Everything on that calendar is purposeful, it is intentional, it is moving you closer to the thing you really want, and you are not allowing anything to get in the way, and your schedule says so. Number 3 is lead generation. Every day, I'm having voice-to-voice and face-to-face conversations that are bringing me qualified prospects so that I can then enter into number 4, the lead follow-up stage of my lead generation, and number 5 is into the lead conversion stage of getting signed buyer broker agreements and signed listing agreements. Woo! All right. Listen, I know you want to succeed at the highest level possible. And I know that if you focus on these 5 key elements, you're going to have a more successful and predictable real estate sales business. Let's make 2026 our best year. I know you got this. I know you want this. Now let's show up and do it. Come on, let's go.